Tom Brookshire with Charlie Waters in Tampa, where we got a tied ball game before halftime. Look at this turnover ratio.
Turnover ratio is your takeaways as compared to your giveaways. Your giveaways make a minus, and the good teams are, I mean, Washington's a real good team, and they're at plus 13, and here you got the bottom of the list, and they're at a minus on their turnover ratio. Your good teams will always be in your plus ratio.
And of course, St. Louis had a fumble but did not lose it today, so that will not be considered as a takeaway by Tampa Bay. Here's the man that fumbled that, who can also run and carries people to the 30-yard line. What a run by Anderson. He drags Judy and Davis both for the hike.
He's a big man running through there, but you can't do it until you do something up front. Dan Dierdorf coming off. This is the first game he's played in a couple of weeks. He opens the hole for him, and I tell you, Brookie, look, he's carrying 4 linebackers down the field.
42 yards on 10 carries, and you're right, no good runner, Peyton or Anderson or O.J. Simpson or anybody, you have to have the blockers. And I'll tell you, the guys from the Cardinals right now are beginning to hit people. Marsh in motion. Uh-oh, illegal procedure. Looked like the Cardinals jumped. Offensive movement up front. I saw a play like that a few years ago, and Gale Sayers got his knee torn up on a busted play when people didn't know whether to...
Offense, false start. Number 70.
Number 70 on offense. Plunkett, the big right tackle. You know what I mean? People didn't know whether to stop or start, and so...
And you get it. Sometimes you get somebody in the crowd that's got a whistle, and he'll blow it. And some of the guys will hold up, and some of them don't. Of course, you can use that in a film session, but it's not going to hold up when the coach is saying, "Hey, why'd you stop?"
Yeah, that's right. Those films in those film rooms, when the coaches look at them, pretty quiet, aren't they? Second down and 5. Lomax screening, good screen to Anderson. He's got 3 blockers out in front and is pulled down from behind the 20-yard line by Jeff Davis. And it's a good thing Davis made the diving tackle. That's a new play. Good-looking screen by the Cardinals.
Boy, on a screen pass, you've got to sell that defensive team that you're going to throw the ball downfield, and they did an excellent job of selling it there, and they're in great position to score.
Tampa Bay bought, huh?
Glad you could be a part of this.
For his enshrinement into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Mr. Sonny Jurgensen.
Vince Lombardi and all the others.
I never thought I would be here, but to be here in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it's like coming home again. It's a dream when you come from North Carolina and a little school down there, and then you play at Duke University, a team that really didn't throw the ball very much. Very fortunate to get in professional football.
As an NFL quarterback, Sonny threw for over 30,000 yards. He's still ranked as the #1 lifetime passer in the NFC. Vince Lombardi said of Sonny, the thing about Jurgensen is he always wanted to win so fiercely. All the great ones have that.
Hall of Fame is a great place. I'm sure that some young kid could come in here and look at these things and make a decision whether or not he would like to be a professional football player.
This is where all those dreams come true, in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Don't miss it.
Back in Tampa, as we've said before, we'll tell you again, it's the site of the Super Bowl here on CBS, Super Bowl 18. Boy, I wish I was young enough and good enough to come and play the Super Bowl. You played how many? 5, 4?
5.
How many rings did you get?
Well, we won 2.
Well, I mean, did you get rings when you lost 2?
Oh, ring? Yeah, I saw how many we win. We won 2, but we got rings for all of them.
Our thanks, by the way, to Sonny Jurgensen. The preceding message was brought to you by the National Football League. And my old teammate, the Duke, Jurgensen, went into the Hall of Fame. There was probably never a better passer, I guess. Just
he was a great thrower. Why'd they trade him to Washington?
It's too long a story. We only got an hour left here. 1st and 10. St. Louis on the move. Toss back to Stump Mitchell. Mitchell in for his first carry from the line of scrimmage. He doesn't waste much. Marion Campbell, the Philadelphia coach, said Stump Mitchell runs downhill right at you. He goes right to the tackler, doesn't he?
As soon as he gets the ball, he's moving. Of course, we talked to Coach Hannafin yesterday. He says, well, I'm not going to let this guy play. I know on game day he's going to beg me to get out there and play. I'm not going to let him play. He gets smashed, just blam busted last week and broke his sternum.
That's the cartilage, like, you know, where your
bruised it.
It's where your breastbone is, and it's very painful because you can't sleep. And you know, if you can't sleep, it's just hard to recharge your batteries. But I'll tell you, Stumper's done it. 2nd and a yard, toss to Mitchell. Oh, Mitchell hit it very hard, and it's going to be close. on moving those sticks or not. Davis and Judy met him head on.
And we're hearing Ed Judy's name quite a bit. Of course, their linebackers, that's the key to this Buck defensive team, is that their linebackers will be the team leaders every year in tackles. And of course, Judy, this is only the second game with them this year.
Remember, Davis used to be here. He's gone now, but they replace him. And the one thing that the 34 must have is linebackers that can lead the team in tackles. You're absolutely right. The toughest team to run against. There are two of them. The New York Giants and the Tampa Bay Bucks. 3.2 a shot. Boy, Mitchell gets almost 3 of it to the 5-yard line. A spinning run by a little fella. He weighs about 188 pounds, 190. 5'10". I'll tell you, his heart plays big.
This is a statistic that I really believe in right here. That it's your yards per attempt, not your total yards you give up, or how many points you give up. If you can stop the run, if you can keep that average under 4, and look how good Tampa Bay is, you usually have a good season. Now, this is a statistic that's lying to you right now because it looks like they should be having a good defensive team.
Well, they lost 2 games in overtime by 3 points. You know, they should have beaten Minnesota, and they should have beaten Dallas last week. I mean, the team could be sitting here 3-3 with really what they've done statistically.
Plus, offensively, that has no bearing on this statistic at all. And they came in the first of the year and used Jerry Goldstein as their quarterback. In the third game, they go to Jack Thompson. And now they're very comfortable with Jack Thompson at their quarterback position.
But right now, we've got the Tampa Bay Bucks pushed on defense. Don't forget at halftime, the NFL Today group back in New York, Brent and my old buddy Irv, my old teammate, really, with scores and the highlights. And then Irv Cross does the legends of the game. And boy, he's an old Texan from Red Raider country, E.J. Holland.
I saw him ride his horse into a bar in Dallas.
Into a bar?
It's in order to drink for the horse and him.
Ordered one for the horse, too, huh?
Yeah, he deserves
Me and my buddy, we both get something. There's the Buccaneer. That's a giant parrot. Know anything about birds? You watch nature and stuff like that, you'd have picked that right up, Waters. 2nd down and 5 to go for a touchdown. We've got a tie game. Anderson is back in there, and Stump Mitchell is out. Lomax has gone all the way at quarterback. Lomax, quick drop, inside move, and held on by Marsh, who really made a tough catch. That was a real hot little rifle, and he just stabbed it with one hand and put it away.
A real impressive drive, too, Brooke. You know, just a meticulous drive right down the field. Got the first when they need it. It's a little pick route. You're not going to be able to see the pick route. You might be able to see it as you drop back. And Marsh is split out to the outside, and he's running it down and in. You see right there, 89 on the right-hand side of your screen that just showed up. He had run in the flat, and Marsh ran the down and in, and it sort of pulled the receiver away, the defender away.
And John Holt was the defender, simply left in the wake. O'Donohue trying for the extra point. He's got 2 for 2 on field goals, and he makes the extra point. The big man from Dublin.
You're at the cornerback's level right here.
Got to get inside position now.
You can't look at that quarterback. Yeah, you got to protect the inside down around the 10-yard line. And Holt just did not have good position, and you can see the height difference right there. And we mentioned that Carlos Scott is center, and we've had 3 bad snaps. And look how good Benny Perrin gets this. That's a high snap, gets it down the hurry, and does not mess the timing up of O'Donohue. So also Roger Worley is really being missed in their defensive backfield. They're starting to figure out how to play without him, and Perrin's doing a real good job of holding without Roger Worley in there.
Here's a very intelligent human being, a Homo sapien that's got his bag on. We don't know what he means by bums. He almost misspelled it. At any rate, it got a good football game here. It's 13-6. And O'Donohue with 2 big field goals, 52-42. There's more of them. Impeach McKay, one says. The other one says, we want Ed Biles. Coach just fired a week ago. That's a great thing about football, though. You know, it's for everybody. Fans, football players, coaches. Of course, you were never on a losing team in Dallas. It's much different, huh? I told you, boy, my wife during losing seasons got skinny chickens at the meat market. O'Donohue with a low kick, making sure there's no run back, and there won't be.
That's a real good kick.
The Bucks with 22 seconds left before halftime, and a deficit of 7 will start at the 20. Remember, Tampa Bay lost to Detroit 11-0. They lose to Chicago 17-10. They lose to Minnesota 19-16 in overtime. Cincinnati beat them 23-17, and they ran an interception back for a touchdown in that one. 55-14, of course, as they were bombed by Green Bay in a game. It was pretty bad anyway, and last week it was 27-24. So Tampa Bay's played some pretty good football to be 0-6. Thompson, the screen, trying to make it go, being read beautifully by St. Louis, and Thompson wastes a pitch by throwing it out of bounds. He had to do it, though, because the Cardinals smelled it out.
They smelled it out, and you say, well, why doesn't he throw the ball downfield and try to complete it to somebody downfield? Well, there was 3 linemen. They don't know. Their job is to go out and hit somebody, and he couldn't. It would be penalized if he thrown it downfield, so he threw that at me.
It looked like somebody came out of the line and fouled that. Curtis Grill's a pretty smart defensive lineman. He looked like he followed out Wilder, who was trying to slip into the flat, and Rush Brown was there, too.
Both screens that they tried to pull off been sniffed out by the defensive lineman of St. Louis.
Hey, that Big Kelly's doing a pretty good job blocking Bubba Baker so far. We haven't seen 60 yet on the sack. Inside drive play. Carver out over the 30. Everybody booing. That doesn't know anything about football. You don't want to have a turnover now. At halftime now, the Bucs will trail by 7. Still very much in the game. Bucs with a touchdown pass. Thompson to Wilder, and then a missed extra point. 2 field goals by O'Donohue, 52-42, and then a touchdown pass from Lomax to Marsh. But a good half of football.
A good, strong drive by St. Louis to put them ahead at halftime. That's very impressive to see a team that is struggling to put a strong drive together.
And don't be surprised that these coaches, this guy's are very serious. He acts like nothing bothers him. He wants to win. Talking about McKay and Hannafin.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way. And by light beer from Miller, everything you've always wanted in a beer, and less.
Thanks to Bic, I have the shave of John McEnroe, but I still have the serve of Elliot Kaminsky.
John McEnroe and I have 2 things in common. Make that one thing. We both shave with Bic.
And so should you, because Bic is beautiful, smooth, close, comfortable, and only 20 cents.
Let's play. I'll be John McEnroe. You're not even old enough to shave.
Bic can improve your game, but it can improve your face.
You know, a guy like me can't afford equipment breakdowns. Hi, I'm Terry Bradshaw. Down here on my farm in Louisiana, I protect all my engines with Conoco motor oil. For over 60 years, Conoco's been improving oils to help engines run trouble-free in all seasons. I need that kind of veteran performance because when I'm driving, I can't afford a breakdown.
Conoco, when you can't afford a breakdown in protection.
Especially when I'm up here in Pittsburgh.
When you have an insurance claim, that's the moment of truth.
You want results as quickly as possible.
You don't want to call a stranger with a claim, and with State Farm you don't. You call your agent.
And State Farm claims people are there when you need them to make sure everything's handled fast and fair.
What makes State Farm Claim Service work so well is an agent who's available when you need help.
And people who follow through with your claim.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
He has been a dominating force at every competitive level. 2 state high school championships, 3 times the College Player of the Year. Now he faces his greatest athletic challenge to excel among the best basketball players in the world. Ralph Sampson has arrived. He'll make his National Basketball Association debut against Artis Gilmore and the San Antonio Spurs in 2 weeks on CBS Sports.
Welcome back to New York. I'm Brent Musburger with Irv Cross. Let's get you up to date now. The Lions and the Bears are slugging it out in the NFC Central. The Lions are pretty much in command. The Bears have just kicked a field goal. Mike Ditka, of course, has some dissension in the ranks. Watch Eric Kipple of the Lions here. He's looking now to his favorite target, Leonard Thompson. He makes the catch at the Chicago 38. Watch what happens afterwards. Inexcusable right here. Otis Wilson comes in late, another 15 yards. Billy Sims playing for the first time in a month. He scored the Lions' first touchdown. Now watch Hipple get their second touchdown in this next sequence. He'll go to Dexter Bussey coming out of the backfield. And it was 14-0. Mike Ditka wondering what has gone wrong with his football team. Finally, Thomas kicks a field goal, and right now it is 14-3. Minnesota and Houston. Houston changes coaches. It's not going to help them this afternoon against the Vikings. The Vikings are in command of that game, 20-7. They are in the second quarter. Pittsburgh, again, it's turnovers in this game. The Steelers have intercepted a pair of passes, and they lead the Browns 27-10. San Diego over New England. The Chargers have just scored, and it is now 21-10. Tony Collins scored from 7 yards out for the Patriots. Miami and the Jets. Kim Bokamper intercepted a pass, scampered in for the go-ahead touchdown. The Dolphins have missed one extra point in that game. Buffalo and Baltimore slugging it out for first in the AFC East. No score there in the first. San Francisco and New Orleans. What a defensive battle this is down in the Dome, and the Saints are indeed for real. Watch Stabler here get hit on the blitz.
A lot of defensive pressure all the first half, Brent, but Stabler this time hits Gene Goodlow on a quick post, setting up a touchdown opportunity for the Saints. Here's a controversial play. Ball's handed off to Rodgers. He's hit. Did he fumble or not? The ruling was he didn't fumble, but the 49ers recovered in the end zone, but no avail. Next play later, Wayne Wilson goes over for the touchdown, and the Saints first hold a 13-3 lead at halftime.
That was fourth down right there. They had 4 chances to get in from inside the 5-yard line. A marvelous goal line stand by the Saints. They've just gone to the half now. They lead at 13-6. St. Louis over Tampa Bay, of course, the game you're watching, 13-6. The Cardinals and the NFL Today will continue on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
Tonight on Alice, Jolene tries out her wings on Mel and the girls.
Last one out is a rotten egg.
Then on One Day at a Time will it be fireworks when Sam's ex shows up.
She's not like you. She's feminine.
And on the Jeffersons, George is delighted to conduct a seminar for newlyweds, making him
George Jefferson, Professor of Love.
Then will Jenny be hostess or hostage to a ruthless criminal?
Do not
How do I look? And on Trapper John, a corrupt doctor goes after Trapper's job. All tonight.
This is CBS.
An early star in the old American Football League was E.J. Hollab of the Kansas City Chiefs, one of the very few players who worked both sides of the scrimmage line. He started as a linebacker in Super Bowl I against Green Bay, and 3 years later, after he switched to center on offense, he helped lead the Chiefs to victory in Super Bowl IV from that position. Hollab is the subject of Irv Cross's profile today in our Legends of the Game series.
Training a horse to work in a herd of cattle is pretty hard work. And you wonder why someone who's had 17 operations, just 12 on his knees alone, would be doing it. But there he is. When he played for the Kansas City Chiefs, his teammates called him the Beast. His is a story of grit, courage, and determination. And his name is E.J. Hollab.
By the time he joined the American Football League, he'd already had 3 operations. That didn't stop him from becoming one of the new league's most active outside linebackers. And AFL backs soon came to know the sting of the beast. In Super Bowl I, the AFL champion Chiefs took on Vince Lombardi's Green Bay Packers. And through the first 2 periods, E.J. and friends held that legendary Packer sweep in check, much to Kansas City's own surprise.
We felt like that they were just going to really chew us up. We had guys, crying, and guys were so apprehensive and nervous about it that they were vomiting, and it was just that keyed up. And then we went out there. Green Bay hit us least of any team in the AFL, but they had timing and experience, and they were just like a well-oiled machine. And, of course, here comes Taylor, and boy, they're through.
By now, Hollab had undergone a half-dozen operations, and his battered body could no longer stand the beating at linebacker. And so, he moved over to offense. where he snapped the ball against the Vikings in Super Bowl IV.
That game, everything worked just right for us, and we just controlled them at the line of scrimmage. And the mixture of plays that Coach had designed and set up was the big factor to this. But just talking about it right now, you get goosebumps. You just really can't explain what a tremendous feeling it is.
That's it, boys. That's it, Rats. That's it, boys. I knew you'd do it, Doc! Hey, Doc! I knew you'd do it!
In the end, Chief Head Coach Hank Stram got the ride of his life, and quarterback Lenny Dawson made the cover of Sports Illustrated. But there was another Chief on that cover, and after 17 operations, he's not about to let you forget it.
I have it framed. Of course, I get goosebumps looking at it. You know, this may seem childish, but people have asked me, aren't you sorry about all those knee operations? And if I had to do it, I'd do it all over again because football was so great to me. It gave me fame, fortune, and success, and I just love the sport for what it's done for me, and I wouldn't be in the position I am right now without it. The money's gone, but I still got the ring.
Hank Stram always said that Holub was one of the team leaders that he had with the Chiefs.
Well, you know, a rare thing, of course, occurred in his career. He was injured on defense, but he was such an outstanding, enthusiastic player. He was an integral part of that offensive club, so they put him at center.
All right, now let's send you back to the stadium and the game you're enjoying on CBS.
Tom Brookshire and Charlie Waters at Tampa Stadium. It's St. Louis 13-6 over Tampa Bay, but we got 30 minutes left. Hang in there, will you?
For the past 2 years, I've been telling you, with some interruptions, that an independent test for Best Color Picture, the Sylvania Superset beat RCA, Zenith, and Sony. Well, this year, we again asked over 1,000 people which TV had the best overall color picture. And more of them picked the 19-inch Sylvania Superset over RCA and Zenith and Sony, too.
何ですか? こんなですか? Sylvania beats Sony again? どうして? 別買いでしょ?
If you're looking for an investment firm, I've got some advice for you. I want to tell you the single best way to choose that investment firm. Just ask a lot of investors a lot of questions. Ask if their broker really listens, really cares, and ask them how they're doing. I'm telling you this because I believe you're going to hear a lot of good things about one company, Dean Witter. I think you'll find Dean Witter worth asking about.
Dean Witter, worth asking about.
Looking good in the groove. Arnie Menswear on the move. There's more for your life at Sears. Button it up, suits with flair. Nail it down, great sportswear. At your ease or on the town. There's more for your life.
Looking good.
For the look of your life. Arnie Menswear on the move. There's more for your life at Sears.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Anheuser-Busch St. Louis, brewers of Michelob. Some things speak for themselves. Ice Blue Aqua Velva, because there's something about an Ice Blue Aqua Velva man. And by Goodyear, makers of Eagle high-performance radios.
A gorgeous day in Tampa, Florida. You can see the quarterbacks for the Buccaneers and Giles warming up. John McKay strolling down the fairway as he came from the dressing room. And here are the halftime stats. It's St. Louis 13-6. Early in the ball game, O'Donohue tried that 52-yard field goal and made it. And here are the stats that sort of show what happened in that first half.
The biggest thing about this statistics right there is that St. Louis didn't have a first down until that last drive. And the other thing that's interesting is that there's no turnovers. They had one fumble and they recovered it themselves. And remember that St. Louis had 13 turnovers in the last two ball games, and they've got 38% of the points scored against them. They're a direct result of turnovers, and that's one area that they're concentrating
Tampa Bay controlled the clock, controlled like most of the first quarter and part of the second quarter, and look what happens. They end up trailing the ball game because St. Louis did not turn the ball over, and of course Jack Thompson had the one interception. We'll show you what happened in the first half of play to get this. O'Donohue with his longest field goal ever, a 52-yarder, after a bad snap, I might add. Then Thompson had an 11-yard TD pass to Wilder, his fullback. missed the extra point.
It's that play action pass where they sucked the linebacker up, E.J. Jr., and hit Wilder in the flat. Of course, he's an all-purpose back, 6'3", 215, catches well and runs well.
He and Jerry Ellis were both at Missouri at the same time. Pretty good, huh? Then, of course, O'Donoghue rammed in a 43-yard field goal, also a high snap, but Perrin got it down. And then, as we just saw, Lomax hit Marsh with a tough catch TD.
A little pick route, as we said. We had one guy running to the outside, and Marsh is coming to the inside. Nice one-hand catch. You got to protect the inside if you're a defensive back in that situation.
And the Cardinals had no first downs until they got it started, but they had a good drive, and they lead in the ball game. 1-5 on the year, and the Tampa Bay Bucks are 0-6. The kickoff by Capice, and of course, young Steve Bird, the rookie, waiting for it. He's not going to get it, though. Let's see who got it at the 10-yard line. That's Schmidt, the young man from Delaware, the rookie, and get it back out to the 25-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10. St. Louis with the football. What separates a team that is 0-6 or 1-5 from the teams that are going to be playing down in Dallas this afternoon?
Boy, it's amazing. If you get a couple inches, a couple plays, a couple big plays here or there, the season could be 3-3 for both of these teams. And we're seeing two good teams today. I'm impressed with Tampa Bay. They don't look like an 0-6 team. Of course, St. Louis had that one real good drive that's very impressive to me.
It's like love and hate. It's a very fine line between the two of them. Here's Anderson, a guy that defensive players love to hate. Number 32, hit by Logan. Maybe picked up a couple of yards anyway. 5 yards. Lomax, 6 of 7, 59 yards, a touchdown. Very much under control and not being too flamboyant.
Mixing up his passes, throwing the tight end quite a bit. Of course, Jack Thompson is throwing an interception and has had a couple bad reads near the end of the half. We need to be looking for him the second half, see if he corrects that.
Lomax, starting last week, played very well against the Washington Redskins, and they have a tough defensive ball club. 2nd down and call it 6, but I think it's more like 5. Lomax, a lot of time, finds Marsh, who drops the ball. Looked away to see where he was going to run and dropped the ball.
It's the second game that Lomax has been back with the shoulder not really bothering him.
When did he get that? That was a first half against New Orleans.
Right at the end of the New Orleans game.
First half of the New Orleans game.
Yeah, right at the end of the first half. Yeah, and of course, if he'd have played the second half, well, if there'd been a couple field goals, maybe this team would be.
Yeah. Well, you know, Jim Hart hadn't taken any snaps hardly as the first-team quarterback, and Hart came on, of course, to beat the Philadelphia Eagles for that one win. Here it is from shotgun. 3rd down and 5. Lomax, good strike to Tilley. Tilley at the 40 with a first down catch. And nobody, I guess nobody, has caught more passes consistently in the last 4 or 5 years than number 83.
He's averaging over 50 catches a year in the last 5 years.
What does he have? How does he get open against Dallas and everybody else, too?
Boy, those quick little receivers used to drive you crazy at the line of scrimmage. That's what he's so good at, and he's got such good savvy. He knows how to get open, you know, and you uncover. It's a strange little thing, but you can't coach it. He's got it. He's got great intensity, too.
Finds that little vacuum and uses good defenses and just dies there until the ball shows up. 1st down and 10. Toss. Strong side toss to Anderson, who storms out over the 45-yard line. That time he ran behind his flanker to the strong side. That's against their frequency completely. Thompson and Davis, the linebackers, making a tackle.
They're doing a lot of things different today. They're not turning the ball over, which is the biggest thing they're not doing.
Hannafin just went over and told the zebra on his side of the field something that he should be looking for. I'm sure it will help the official making his decision.
Yes. Those officials love for those coaches to visit with them on occasion.
It's a lot better than the other occasions when they take the headset off. Hugh Green is now in the ball game. Number 53. We haven't mentioned him because he had a pulled hamstring. He got it in the rain on Thursday.
Must have had a couple oysters last night. Drank a beer or two.
What McKay said, he said he asked Hugh how he felt on Saturday. Hugh said, well, I had some beer and some oysters. I feel a lot better. So he said he thought he might feed him those for Sunday morning pregame meal. One of the great players, the #1 draft out of Pittsburgh. He was a down lineman in college, and he has become some kind of a linebacker.
Well, that complicated the situation for him to go down this week. I know he's going half speed or not full speed.
He better not go. That hamstring's a very deceptive injury. Here's Stump Mitchell. Mitchell is drilled by number 52, Scott Brantley. Got the first down, also got a shot in that sore chest.
52, right bottom side of your screen, in the orange. Watch him all the way. He sniffs it out. Oh. You know when it snaps that running back's head back that they've got delivered a good blow.
Especially when number 30 has that injury we talked about, the sternum that is injured. Tough defensive ball club to run against. They make you pay. I'm talking about the Bucks. 1st and 10. Lomax very calm today. Fake draw, gets it off against the blitz, finds the open receiver, and Marsh catches this one. Doug Marsh down to the 25, and a good read by Lomax.
Real good read, and interesting little setup where they're bringing Marsh off the line of scrimmage and splitting him out, and it's spreading the defense out. And of course, Tampa Bay is notorious at running the zone defense. Nice read, nice poise. Had a blitz coming in from the outside. You saw it late. See, Marsh catches that ball, and he catches a one-hand grab in the end zone, and then drops that one right in his chest. A strange little game, isn't it, Brookie?
Yeah, and Deerdorf, by the way, we're told the Giant offensive center, 72, is being treated for dehydration right now. Will maybe come back and play. And also Charlie Baker, the defensive linebacker. It is very humid and very hot. Is this a lateral? A good move by Stump Mitchell, and he catches it inside the 20-yard line. What a play by the little man from the Citadel.
Well, he leaves 2 linebackers.
Leroy Selman finally had to make the tackle from behind, and that's a very dangerous pass that Lomax got away with.
Oh, he did. And they, you know, the Tampa Bay team, you'll see them pursue. They read this pass perfectly, and they're in great position. Lomax tries to look them up, but watch the way they close him. Mike Washington, 40, and Hugh Green. They need to go out there and check and see if they can find some of those guys wearing apparel that they just faked out of.
Now we know why he talked Hannafin into playing today.
Yeah.
Here he is again, number 30, being tripped up at the 20. Good defensive play by the men in orange. Dave Stalls, your former teammate with Dallas, closing that off.
Oh, Dave had a great career as a pass rusher, and he's been beat out down here by John Cannon. Of course, John Cannon's not able to play because he's been injured with a pinched nerve against Dallas last week.
So far, Booker Reese has been in there.
St. Louis is they're picking it right up where they left off at the end of the first half, Brookie, with a nice, good, crisp drive with first down after first down.
Anderson back in at tailback. And they haven't hit Roy Green with a pass yet. And don't forget him down in this plus territory. 3rd down and 3. Lomax to Anderson at the 20. That's Wayne Morris to almost the 10-yard line. Judy having to make the tackle there. Boy, Lomax looks to me like his recognition factor must be 100% today. He knows what he's looking for.
Extremely good. You'll see the O.J. Anderson has already gone in motion to the outside, and they do that to be able to figure out what the defense is going to do. They want to see if they're going to be blitzing. If it would have been a blitz, somebody would have gone out there with Anderson. Nobody did, so they laid the ball off to Morris.
Only the 8th catch of the year for Morris, but a good time to do it. Using all the different plays, and that's why it takes a quarterback about 4 or 5 years in this league to know where it's all coming from. Toss back to Anderson. Morris got the block on the outside, and 32 rumbles to the 5 in a hurry. Davis and Hugh Green there. Flag is down.
Keeping the ball on the ground. Boy, I dream about that. What a hit that was by Hugh Green. That was Hugh Green, the blur that you said saw come in front of the camera.
What do you have? He had 13 tackles 2 weeks in a row, didn't he? Against Dallas, and then the week before that, too, against Green Bay in the losing cause.
Offense, number 70, holding.
Art Plunkett.
That explains why they went around the outside. So Anderson still shaking up. You know, mention Hugh Green. Checked on some of the statistics. You know, he's averaging 9 tackles a game since he's been in the NFL. That's incredible. He's going to have to do some tackling today,
I'd say.
A decade ago, Honda introduced the Civic. A simple idea based on the need to go farther on less. Now, the new car. It is based on what your driving needs are today and what they will be in the future. The new car. It is designed to move people in comfort and with unrivaled efficiency. The new car. The Honda Civic CRX.
For the most comprehensive pregame coverage of college football, join Brent Musburger, Pat O'Brien, and Aaron Persigan on the NCAA Today, Saturdays on CBS Sports.
Anderson, number 32, left the field under his own power. Maybe it's the heat now, but keep in mind that down on that floor, it was 80 some odd degrees when we started, 85, that it might be 95 down there and very, very humid.
I broke a sweat early when I went down and checked the pregame warm-up down on the field, Brookie. It's hot.
You mean you broke a sweat just checking the field?
That's the closest I'm coming to playing.
And it is hot. Anyway, Anderson is out. Harrell is in, and Morris, who just gets this handoff. Morris hit hard at the 21-yard line. Jeff Davis now, and the Buck defense has picked up the tempo. Since Green came in, they have nailed everybody in sight.
Little draw play to the outside. Jeff Davis, 58, will be making the play. You see him, that's him crossing in front of the screen. He's behind Morris, and he closes the gap. Boy, he is really a hitter. He's caused more fumbles in his 2 years here than anybody else. He's only 6 feet tall, and he was a fifth-round draft choice. He should have gone earlier.
And Hannaford, of course, over there realizing that Hugh Green coming in has somehow thrown some fire into that Tampa defense. Stump Mitchell is in the ballgame, only back there. Marsh in motion. Lomax getting rushed out of the pocket by Stahl. Now he has time. Finds the receiver. That's Tilley. That's Tilley to the 6-yard line. He kept on changing his pattern until the quarterback could find him. Holt makes the tackle late.
Boy, I sure like the poise, and we mentioned earlier, sure like the poise of 15 Lomax right there. That's the way it looks right before he snaps the ball, trying to figure out what he's doing. Watch the way he buys time right here and gets to the outside. That's the mobility of a youth. Getting pressured, and Tilley, the little crafty wide receiver, has sense enough to open up.
Remember what Judy told us? He played against Lomax in college against Portland State, and he said Lomax has tremendous ability for a big guy to get outside. We saw it. 3rd down and 5. Lomax being chased but finds a receiver. Roy Green for a touch. Jetstream Green. How about what he had to say about the Cardinal organization, that after his great year and he becomes strictly a superior receiver, not just a defensive or run back man, he said that Bidwell and them called him in and renegotiated his contract.
I thought that was a credit to the
Cardinal
organization. No, they've got a reputation of being a little tight. They came back and they gave that man some money. The thing I like about that play right there was, once again, the poise of Lomax.
Yep. O'Donohue, who is dead solid perfect on everything he's done. Wow. The Irish, huh? It's St. Louis 20-6. Cardinals got it going.
The Honda Accord LX 4-door sedan. It comes with a long list of standard equipment. Cruise control, air conditioning, a sophisticated stereo, a lighted mirror, power door locks and windows. The Accord LX has everything. Almost. The yacht is optional.
There's more for your car during Sears National Automotive Sale. Like our lowest price in 3 years on the Die Hard. Save $20 on the replacement battery more people have confidence in. Only $49.99 with trade-in.
And save 30% on weather-wise steel-belted all-season radials. Now as low as $39.99. It's our largest savings ever.
Heavy-duty shocks are only $9.88 each installed.
There's more for your car.
Confidence installed day and night.
There's more for your life at Sears.
The numbers on that Cardinal drive, 75 yards and 13 plays. You know, when Lomax came out of the hotel this morning to come over here, you were talking to Jim Hart. What did he say to you?
Hi, Charlie. And said what very relaxed. Oh, you're talking to Hart again, huh? They've got to have a little thing going between them because.
Sure, but I like the way he was very casual. He looked like he was the man in control. Here's the kickoff by O'Donoghue, taken by Morton. Not much of a run back against the team. Good special team activity by the Cardinals. Back to the 25.
Let's take another look at how cool Lomax is. Well, this is the way it looked. It makes my palms sweat to see it, Brookie. This is the way it is if you're a defensive back. Watch him. He's in the pocket. And he's looking straight down the field. His primary receiver's to his right, to his left. He buys some time by moving out. Watch it. Judy's getting ready to close in on him. He fakes him out, moves to the outside. You can't coach this kind of ability right here, and then has the poise to throw the ball back across to Tilly. Beautiful play.
And the coaches, Hannaford and Jamison, let him get his shoulder out to fumble. A big hit. The Cardinals have suddenly come up with a turnover.
Rush Brown
picks up the ball and runs with it, and for a change, the Cardinals get the turnover and advance it instead of turning it over. Galloway caused it, and Rush Brown picked it up. Pretty good-looking run. He's taking it home with him.
Yeah, most of those linemen, when they recover the ball, they forget that they're still in the NFL. They can get up and run with it. But watch the lick by Galloway right there, 75. Boy, that is a great lick. This is the kind of thing that the Cardinals have had happen to them all season. And I think maybe the tide is turning for the Cardinals finally.
That was the 7th fumble that Tampa Bay has lost, and that was, of course, Carver carrying the ball, but a real good tackle caused it more than being too relaxed. Floyd Peters talking to his defense over there. He was obtained as an assistant head coach from Detroit and brought in Bubba Baker and some people, and they do some stunts.
Well, that was the main thing that St. Louis needed to fix was their pass rush from last season.
Anderson, we're told, has a bruised shoulder, and number 32 might not come back. Certainly will not if the score is maintained. Here's the fake to Mitchell. Lomax going for more after the turnover, finds Marsh. Touchdown, the second one for the tight end. Are there any flags? No flags on the ground.
They're cheering. They're cheering the Cardinals. This is the biggest cheer the Cardinals have got all year. They didn't get this big a cheer at home.
There's nothing wrong with playing on the road when you're losing. O'Donoghue now for the extra point. Lightning strikes, a fumble, and next play, a touchdown and tack on an extra point. And suddenly what was a very, very close game looks like might be get even time for the men from St. Louis, 27-6.
Once again, keep reiterating the poise that Lomax has. This pass is designed to the outside. So he's looking to the corner to Roy Green. He brings it down and sees Marsh open in the middle. And of course, this is a second touchdown catch by Marsh. St. Louis is way ahead.
The new car. It is based on what your driving needs are today and what they will be in the future. The new car. It is designed to move people in comfort and with unrivaled efficiency. The new car, the Honda Civic CRX.
For years now, we've been kidding Jim here about his eyesight. The fact is that Jim has the eyes of an eagle.
Thanks, Boog.
Why, he's one of the first guys to spot light beer from Miller. Saw right away that light tastes great and it's less filling.
Sure, all you have to do is read the label. It says light has 1/3 less calories than a regular beer.
I think you want this, Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
As I was saying, it's as plain as the nose on your face.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Oh, I don't believe that.
The highly ranked Texas Longhorns take on a team that hasn't lost in 21 games, the SMU Mustangs, in CAA football next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Brookshire and Waters from Tampa Bay. Now listen, 6:51 left in the third period, and Tampa Bay, I believe, has had the ball for 8 seconds, and they fumbled it on that time.
This is on the touchdown right here. Look at the time that Lomax is having. Great protection right there by Randy Clark, 64, and all the offensive line. Dan Audick in there, Terry Steve, Louis Sharp, and Art Plunkett. Giving him plenty of time.
Why didn't Tampa Bay, why aren't they in a man-to-man situation down close like that? Why should a tight end be running around free?
He shouldn't be running around. Maybe it's because they got those new linebackers. Got to be because they got the new linebackers.
O'Donoghue kicking off in the 35. The crowd getting excited because St. Louis scored. How about that one, sports fans? That's Morton. Morton with a good run back out over the 40 and pushed out by O'Donohue. O'Donohue used to play Australian rules and rugby, and I think he used some talent from one of those games because the kicker just did force out number 1.
Little Michael Morton there wearing number 1. Had a 5.5-yard average when he was in preseason this year.
Don't forget, coming up next, the second half of the doubleheader, the Eagles of Philadelphia in Dallas because of the World Series being played in Philadelphia. And as Coach Dick Vermeil, the former coach, told us, he thought the Eagles had to hold them, what, to 15 points?
15 points. Good little statistic.
Bubba Baker's first sack of the day, number 60, got after Jack Thompson and nailed him. Don't get him turned on, boy. If you want to block somebody that's tough, there's a flag on the field. Might have had to try to tackle Bubba.
Offense, number 74, holding, decline, second down.
74, that's Sanders, who's in for Kelly Thomas. And, of course, he did not hold well enough to keep Bubba from getting the sack. Second down and 15.
Tampa had 14 penalties last week for 185 yards in that overtime loss to Dallas.
Well, once in a while when you break down technique-wise, the flags do fly, don't they? Second down. Thompson across the middle. Open is Giles. Giles to the 38-yard line. A load and a very fast, big tight end.
A holdout. Jimmy Giles came in the training camp late, but in good shape. The thing I like about that play right there was that Jack Thompson made the right decision. He decided to go with Giles across the middle and laid the ball out in front of him, in front of the linebacker who had responsibility. You can't cover Jimmy Giles with a linebacker.
Remember the time he jumped up between you and Crash Harris?
Thanks for reminding me of that.
It was one of the great offensive plays I've ever seen. You guys had him covered, and he still caught it for a touch. A tremendous talent. They need him right now. Thompson rifling to Giles across the middle. He's spun down there by Charlie Baker. Good tackle.
I like that, Brookie. You got to go to the tight end. It's a simple pass for the quarterback to throw. It's an easy pass to see, too, because it's right in the middle, right in front of you.
Is this guy strong, too? Is Giles strong?
Oh, he's strong. He's knocked us away like King Kong knocking away those airplanes on the... He's right in the middle between those two linebackers.
Okay.
And he comes back for the ball. That's great. You can't coach that.
Oh, you sure can't. King Kong swatting away those pursuit planes. Holy gosh. Second down and 6, but he is big and strong. Here's Wilder inside. Good run. Looks like Tampa Bay is getting nasty now. They're going to fight for their lives in front of their fans here.
Well, it's good to see them mix it up and come back.
First down, they're moving the sticks.
Come back after 2 passes to run the ball and get a first down out of it. Shows you what those turnovers will do. That turnover at the beginning of the second half, pow, 7 points. Hurts.
And boy, the Cardinals took advantage of it. John McKay takes the good with the bad. And as Mr. Culverhouse has said, he is my football coach. And John, you can't resign even if you want to. Oh, good defensive play. The catch was made. Jeff Griffin came up on the tackle. 89 caught the ball.
This is the way it looks if you're the cornerback. Of course, you can't see it quite
Kevin
this
House,
well.
House caught the ball.
You can see that the quarterback, Thompson, was telegraphing where he's going to throw the ball. And Griffin being a hitter, you look at that big old pad he's got on his left arm. That's where he just came off injured reserve. He had a broken arm. He was shaking up earlier, and he's okay now.
Yeah, but at least it's not that arm that's been re-injured because he's back in there and hitting hard. Second down and 6. Tampa Bay trying to answer the touchdown binge that the Cardinals are on. Looks like a diving catch. It's a touchdown for no flags. Theo Bell. They're cheering their team. Tampa Bay. Good throw.
He's coming into his own here in Tampa. They like him. They're finally making the adjustment without Doug Williams here anymore and taking them 6 or 7 games. That's what that Dallas game meant so much to Jack Thompson last week.
Well, I must have missed all of the good Doug Williams games. I just never saw any. In big games, I never thought he played that well. That's just my own personal opinion, you know. Capice now to kick. It's good. After 27 in a row, he missed one, and the little man came back to drill this one through. And he, of course, kicked at nearby Florida State.
You see him dropping back. Benny Perrin right in the top of your screen is committed to the short receiver. Great read by Jack Thompson. He hit Theo Bell for a touchdown right there.
Boy, what a catch by Theo Bell.
They call him the wise old daddy, he calls him. Jack Thompson likes throwing to him. He reads the defense well. You got to protect to the inside, Griffin. Touchdown, Theo Bell.
Here's to good friends tonight.
Hey, chicken and ribs? Chicken and ribs. Check. Steak?
Must say
Check.
something more somehow.
Chili. Homemade chili. Good work.
Hey, wait a minute.
What did you bring besides your list? Just a little something I threw together.
I should have known.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lower Brow.
Okay, everybody, let's go win this one.
A lot of homeowners' insurance policies won't cover this kind of damage. Nationwide's Elite Homeowners Policy will. The Elite policy doesn't cost much more than standard homeowners policies, but it covers things you never dreamed of.
Bill, are you watering the lawn?
Uh-huh.
Elite Homeowners Insurance, part of Nationwide's blanket protection.
Nationwide is on your side.
Just checking, against Dallas a week ago, Thompson was 19 of 30 for 272, a touchdown, and 1 interception. So he's coming fast. Here's Capice's kick. It's got to be a deep one. It is. 5 yards deep in the end zone and run out by Bird. Bird coming out with a lot of effort, but not much in the way of results. About the 16-yard line. The Tampa Bay defense now with Hugh Green will try to close down that Lomax offense.
We mentioned how Jack Thompson's doing a good job of reading. Right in the center of your screen is a free safety. He's normally responsibility as the post, but this defense has got him committed to a short route. He's not responsible for this post. Great read by Thompson to throw the ball and read that defense perfect and put it in there.
Could the safety man have taken the wrong man coming across short? Should he look for the deeper guy?
They had a defense in there where he was supposed to pick. Go for the interception on the short route.
They better change that defense. 1st and 10. Inside run, maybe a false trap. Wayne Morris trying to dig out some in there. McKay now buoyed by the fact that his team bounced back and came back and got a touchdown to answer the Cardinal one. Lomax has completed 12 of his last 13 passes. He is 13 of 15. 144, 3 touchdowns, and McKay doesn't like it a bit.
He likes those little golf hats. I counted 27 of them in his office yesterday. 27 different kind of golf hats.
You love hats and helmets and stuff like that. Uniforms. 2nd down at 7. Lomax going deep for all of it for Roy Green and overthrowing him at the 37-yard line. Boy, he loaded up the Portland State rifle that time. Lock and load. Scores from other games. San Francisco trailing New Orleans 13-12. We told you, Bum Phillips' bunch is going to hang in there. 17-10 now. Detroit on top of Chicago. 20-14. Minnesota over Houston in the 3rd quarter. San Diego on top of New England 21-13. Back here, the Jets 20-7. Trailing Miami. What's happened to the New York Jets? Especially their pass rush. They can't get anybody down anymore. The St. Louis shotgun, 3rd down and 6. Lomax with time, intercepted by Hugh Green, and he gets a touchdown. He had a 21-yard touchdown run for McKay's Bucks against Green Bay in that horrible game. And this one really put Tampa Bay back in the contest.
Golly, Brookie, you got a lead and you're backed up. Of course, he's got a hot-handed quarterback, but he's telegraphing that ball all the way. Look looks like somebody might have tipped it. Boy, is he a great receiver almost. And he went for that ball like I said. That's his second touchdown, interception for a touchdown this year. And he's running kind of strange, like his hamstrings bothered him a little bit.
He's dragging it to make sure he didn't pop it on the way in.
I'd hate to see him at full speed.
Capice now with a chance to put him within 6. He made it. Pardon me, within 7. I majored in math, too. St. Louis 27, Tampa 20. And the Bucs have scored twice. 1 on offense, 1 on defense.
Nobody looks at office automation.
You know, repairs cost so much. It's terrific you're trying to be handy.
What do you mean trying? Peerless makes it easy to be handy. I'm going to hook up this do-it-yourself Peerless faucet, and these are the only tools I'm going to use. Watch. Just insert the flexible copper tubing and turn the special tightener by hand. Bend the tubing by hand, then snap the quick connectors by hand. No tools, and it's finished in a snap.
Water!
And making it easy to be handy, Peerless is peerless.
Hugh Green for Mayor. 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns this year. And I'll tell you, as soon as he came on the field, the defense began to put leather on people. He is exciting, and what a player. Capice with a kick, and it's a deep one. He better not kick it short now. Out of the end zone as Bird just takes it like a center fielder and says, are you kidding? The Bucs and their fans now up. 2:42 left in the 3rd period. A lot of time, and they came a long way. Don't forget, Saturday college football continues. We'll have regional action of the top NCAA football games around the country. Be sure to join the Saturday afternoon group when the NCAA Today kicks off at 12:30. For regional action, check local listings for the game in your area on CBS Sports. Texas and the SMU Mustangs. SMU's got, what, the longest streak in the nation for not losing a football game.
Oh, I tell you, they got a great quarterback, Lance McElhenney. I really think a lot of him. He's a winner. He's not going to be drafted by the pros, but he's a good college quarterback.
Of course, Texas has about 12 #1 drafts in that squad. They're a little bit rugged. Right here on CBS, here's Stump Mitchell. Mitchell dragging people up over the 25, but the Bucs now are turned on. Leroy Selman in on the tackle from the backside. 5-yard gain. The Bucs defense knows they've got to close it down. Stop it. Get the ball back from St. Louis. They trail by 7.
They've got to have a strong drive. That man right there, John McKay, says, you know, every time I want to feel good, all I have to do is think of Leroy Selman. And I feel good because he's a good player.
First player they ever took here. And, of course, John McKay, the man you're looking at, was the only coach that's ever been here. Mr. Culverhouse took him first, too. Here's a quick draw. Mitchell out to the 30. Supreme effort. Might have picked up the first down. Jeff Davis hitting him there, and Jeff Davis has been in on 16 tackles already in the 3rd period. I don't know what the record is for tackles. Makes it tough getting up on Monday morning, though, if you lead the world in tackles, doesn't it?
You betcha. That defensive back, it's always bad because they're outweighing you by 30, 40 pounds. That's a strong hitter right there, Jeff Davis.
Farrell is in the game. Short yardage, inches short. I don't think they marked that very good because I think Mitchell had the first. Here's Mitchell. This time he's got the first. Look out on short yardage. You can break long ones. Mitchell fights to the 41-yard line, dragging John Holt with him.
He looks like he's swimming through there, Brookie, with the way he uses his arm.
He and Farrell are leaving. I wonder if he's hurt a little bit.
Makeshift offensive line doing a great job of blocking. Watch where he kind of pushes him out of the way and then swings back the other way. Well, he's very explosive. Very explosive.
There's an explosive person, but been handling the losing situation in an extremely cool style.
A lot of poise, a lot of poise.
Talking about Jim Hannafin. Same for Lomax. Roy Green's in motion. Lomax out in the flat. Harrell with the ball. All-purpose back, and a good one for years with St. Louis. Castile making the tackle there. Boy, defensive football right now has got to be applied. Pressure has got to be applied.
Got to have pressure on him. Of course, that pass right there, that was Very impressed with Lomax not trying to throw the ball downfield that time. They had the flood route where they loaded it up and put a bunch of folks on that side. He just committed to Willard Harold immediately.
Cardinals are going to wait.
A chance.
Cardinals are going to wait and go into the fourth period with the wind to their back a little bit. That's the end of the third quarter with the score 27-20 St. Louis over Tampa. We'll pause now for a word from your local station.
Tuesday on the Mississippi, Michelle Phillips is the wealthy divorcee.
I was the major adulteress of all time.
But will her wiles woo Ben from solving a murder Tuesday?
This is CBS.